The fallen colony. The distress signal reached Earth at 3:47 a.m., Greenwich Mean Time. Captain James Walker stood on the bridge of the USS Thunder, his jaw tight as he watched the transmission for the third time. The colony on Haven burned in real-time footage, its domed cities cracking like eggs under orbital bombardment. 15,000 colonists, his lieutenant, Anna Cooper, whispered beside him. Families, children. Walker's hands gripped the rail until his knuckles went white. Haven had been humanity's proudest achievement, their first successful colony beyond the solar system. Now it was ash and glass. The transmission switched to a close-up of an alien face. Lord Kane of the Dominion Empire filled the screen, his 4 eyes gleaming with satisfaction. His species, the Krell, looked like massive insects standing upright, with crystalline skin that reflected light in prismatic patterns. Let this be a lesson to all primitive species, Kane's translated voice boomed across the bridge. The Dominion Empire controls this sector. Your expansion ends here, humans. Return to your little blue world and cower where you belong. The transmission cut to black. In Earth's Central Command, located deep beneath the Swiss Alps, humanity's leaders gathered around a massive holographic table. President Maria Santos sat at the head, her face carved from stone. Around her, the representatives of Earth's United Nations waited in tense silence. They destroyed Haven without warning, General Lisa Stone reported, her military uniform crisp despite the emergency summons. No demands, no negotiations. They just erased it. Ambassador Marcus, an older man with gray temples, cleared his throat. I've sent diplomatic messages through all channels. The Dominion refuses to respond. They're treating us like pests. Because that's what they think we are, General Stone said, standing up. Her eyes swept the room. They see our one colony, our small defensive fleet around Earth, and they assume we're weak. President Santos leaned forward. What are you suggesting, General? Stone's lips curved into something that wasn't quite a smile. I'm suggesting we show them what humanity learned from 2 world wars, a dozen regional conflicts, and 3 centuries of military evolution. She pressed a button on her tablet. I'm suggesting we activate Project Phoenix. The room went silent. Project Phoenix was Earth's most closely guarded secret, a massive military buildup hidden from all alien sensors and spies. For 50 years, humanity had been building warships in secret facilities beneath Earth's oceans, inside hollowed-out asteroids, and in underground factories on Mars and the Moon. How many ships do we have? The president asked quietly. 10,000 fully operational. Another 5,000 can be combat-ready within 72 hours. Stone brought up a holographic display showing Earth's true military might. We've been playing the part of the harmless newcomer, Madam President. But every human knows the truth. We're the species that turned sticks into spears, rocks into weapons, and atoms into bombs. We just got better at hiding it. President Santos stood slowly. The Dominion wants to toast their victory over helpless humans? Her voice carried steel that hadn't been there moments before. Then let's show them what happens when humanity stops pretending to be prey. Deep beneath Earth's Pacific Ocean, inside a facility that didn't exist on any map, Admiral Tom Bradley received his activation codes. Around him, thousands of crew members rushed to their stations. The USS Retribution, humanity's largest battleship, began its startup sequence for the first time. All stations, this is Admiral Bradley. His voice echoed through the ship's speakers. Haven has fallen. 15,000 human souls cry out for justice. Today, we answer that call. Similar scenes played out across the solar system. On Mars, fighter squadrons launched from hidden hangars. In the asteroid belt, stealth cruisers powered up their engines. Near Jupiter's moons, dreadnoughts that had been disguised as mining vessels dropped their camouflage. Captain Walker, still on the USS Thunder, received new orders directly from Earth Command. He read them twice, then looked at Lieutenant Cooper. Prepare for hyperspace jump. We're joining the main fleet. The main fleet, sir? Cooper asked, confused. Our defensive fleet only has 50 ships. Walker's grin was all teeth. Lieutenant, what you're about to see is why you never, ever underestimate humanity. We're about to teach the galaxy a lesson they'll remember for millennia. As Earth's hidden fleet began to move, Lord Kane celebrated aboard his flagship, completely unaware that humanity's real endgame had just begun. The Dominion's celebration, Lord Kane's flagship, the destroyer's pride gleamed against the darkness of space. Inside its grand hall, hundreds of alien dignitaries gathered to witness humanity's humiliation. The walls displayed repeating footage of Haven burning, each loop drawing cheers and laughter from the assembled crowd. "Look at them scatter like insects," Commander Rex bellowed, his reptilian scales shifting from green to purple with amusement. The Velkari warrior stood 3 meters tall, his 4 arms gesturing wildly as he drank fermented star wine. "These humans thought they could claim stars? They can barely leave their own atmosphere without our permission." Lord Kane raised his crystalline goblet, the liquid inside swirling with bioluminescent particles. "To the Dominion Empire. May all lesser species learn their place." The crowd roared approval. Representatives from 12 different species, all either allied with or subjugated by the Dominion, joined the toast. They had all heard stories of the new species called humans, soft, pink creatures with only 2 eyes and no natural weapons. Pathetic. "My lord," a technician approached, his antennae twitching nervously. "We've intercepted a transmission from Earth." "Put it on the main screen," Kane commanded, his 4 eyes gleaming with anticipation. "Let us all witness their begging." The holographic display shifted to show Ambassador Marcus, his face grave and tired. "To the Dominion Empire," Marcus began, his voice steady. "Earth formally requests a ceasefire to discuss terms." The hall erupted in laughter. "Terms?" Rex slammed one of his fists on the table, cracking the metal surface. "The only terms are unconditional surrender." Kane waved for silence. "Let the mammals speak." "This is entertaining," Marcus continued on screen. "We are prepared to discuss reparations for any perceived violations of Dominion space. We seek only peace. Perceived violations?" Kane turned to his audience. "They grovel already. This is why the Dominion rules 10,000 systems. We are apex. They are prey." Chief Scientist Vex, a thin creature with elongated limbs and pale skin, approached with a data pad. "My lord, we've completed analysis of the human technology recovered from Haven. And? Primitive as expected. Chemical rockets, basic fusion reactors, simple projectile weapons. Their best technology is perhaps 200 years behind ours." Vex's 3 fingers tapped the pad dismissively. "Their ships use metal armor instead of energy shields." "Metal, can you imagine?" More laughter filled the hall. Commander Rex grabbed another bottle of star wine. "I bet my smallest patrol ship could destroy their entire fleet." "You may get that chance," Kane mused. "Their home system is only 40 light-years from here. A short jump for our fleet." He turned to his strategic display, showing Earth as a small blue dot. "Perhaps we should visit them personally. Show them the price of expanding without permission." Meanwhile, 50 light-years away, humanity's true fleet gathered at the edge of Dominion space. Admiral Bradley stood in the USS Retribution's command center, watching as more ships arrived every minute. The assembly point, designated Echo Base, was carefully chosen, a region of space where natural phenomena masked energy signatures. "Report." "Commander Taylor," Bradley ordered. Commander Beth Taylor, his second-in-command, pulled up the tactical display. 8,000 ships currently in position, sir. The remaining 2,000 will arrive within the hour. All vessels report green across the board. And our special packages? The quantum torpedoes are armed and ready, Admiral. The Cyber Warfare Division has also prepared their surprise. Bradley nodded slowly. For decades, Earth had studied every piece of alien technology they could acquire through trade or salvage. But instead of copying it, they had learned to counter it. While aliens relied on energy shields, humans had developed weapons that passed through them like they weren't there. While aliens used predictable, faster-than-light communication, humans had created quantum entanglement networks that couldn't be intercepted. "Sir," Lieutenant David Park announced from the communications station, "we're receiving reports from our spy drones. The Dominion is still celebrating. They've gathered most of their sector fleet around the flagship to show off. How many ships?" 300, sir. Their best and brightest, all in one place. Bradley allowed himself a small smile. "Pride before the fall. How poetic! He turned to his crew. Send word to all ships. Operation Revelation begins in T-minus 60 minutes. Back at the celebration, Lord Kane stood before a massive strategic map, pointing at Earth with one of his clawed appendages. Tomorrow we send a message to the entire galaxy. Earth falls in 3 days. Any species that thinks to challenge the Dominion will remember what happens to Lord Kane. A sensor operator rushed in, his face pale. We're detecting unusual subspace fluctuations in sectors 7 through 90. Sensor malfunction, Commander Rex dismissed, drunk on wine and arrogance. Our technology doesn't fail. The trap springs. The first sign of trouble came at 0200 hours, Dominion Standard Time. A patrol ship on the edge of their territory went dark. Then another. Then 5 more. Lord Kane, the sensor operator's voice shook. We've lost contact with 17 patrol vessels in the last 3 minutes. Kane's celebration mood evaporated. Show me. The tactical display lit up with red markers where ships had vanished. They formed a perfect circle around the Dominion fleet's position. Could be a solar storm, Commander Rex suggested, though his scales had shifted to a nervous yellow. Or equipment failure. 17 simultaneous failures? Kane's 4 eyes focused on the display. No, someone is... Every screen in the flagship suddenly went black. Then, a single message appeared in perfect Dominion script. You burned our children. Now we burn your empire. The lights came back on to reveal hell. Where empty space had been moments before, 10,000 human warships dropped their stealth fields in perfect synchronization. They formed a sphere around the Dominion fleet, each ship's weapons already locked on target. Impossible! Rex roared, all 4 arms reaching for his weapon controls. Our sensors should have detected them. Captain Walker's voice crackled through their communication systems. Somehow the humans had broken their unbreakable encryption. Lord Kane, this is Captain James Walker of the United Earth Fleet. You have 30 seconds to surrender. Kane's crystalline skin flickered with rage. 300 of our finest ships against your primitive metal buckets? Fire everything! The Dominion ships opened fire with plasma beams and antimatter missiles. The space between fleets turned into a light show of destruction. But something was wrong. The human ship's primitive metal armor wasn't melting. Instead, the plasma beams bent around them, redirected by some kind of magnetic field manipulation the Dominion had never seen. Admiral, they've taken the bait, Lieutenant Cooper reported from her station on the USS Thunder. Admiral Bradley's voice came through the quantum network, reaching all human ships instantly. Execute Phase 2. The human fleet moved like a single organism. Instead of the chaotic battle formations the Dominion expected, they witnessed perfect coordination. Earth's ships formed intricate patterns, creating overlapping fields of fire that left no escape routes. Then the quantum torpedoes launched. Chief Scientist Vex watched his instruments in horror. My lord, those weapons, they're phasing through our shields like they don't exist. The first torpedo hit a Dominion cruiser. Instead of exploding, it seemed to sink into the ship's hull. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the cruiser simply stopped. Every system, every light, every life sign went dead simultaneously. What weapon is this? Kine demanded. It's not destroying our ships. Vex's voice climbed with panic. It's dismantling them at the molecular level. Our shields can't stop it because it exists in multiple dimensions simultaneously. Lieutenant Anna Cooper unleashed Earth's cyber warfare package from her console. Years of secretly studying Dominion computer systems through seemingly innocent trade negotiations had given humanity complete knowledge of their digital architecture. Within seconds, the Dominion fleet's computers turned against them. Navigation is offline. Weapons won't respond. Life support failing on Deck 7. The reports flooded in from every ship. Commander Rex watched helplessly as his own vessel's guns turned toward the flagship. They're controlling our systems. That's impossible, Kane snarled. Our encryption is based on quantum mechanics you taught the galaxy, Captain Walker's voice interrupted. Did you really think we spent 50 years just farming and building colonies? We were learning. Every trade, every diplomatic meeting, every piece of technology you sold us thinking we were too primitive to understand it. We understood it all. The human ships pressed their attack. But unlike the indiscriminate destruction at Haven, they targeted precisely. Weapon systems were destroyed, engines disabled, but crew quarters were left intact. General Lisa Stone appeared on their screens from Earth Command. "Lord Kane, you called us primitive, insects, weak mammals who should know their place." Her expression was cold as space itself. "You're right about one thing, we are mammals. And mammals protect their young with absolute fury. A massive human dreadnought, the USS Vengeance, moved toward the flagship. It was 5 times the size of anything the Dominion had imagined humans could build. Its hull bristled with weapons that defied conventional understanding. Gravitational manipulators, directed singularity projectors, and worse. "How?" Rex gasped. "Your colony ships, your trading vessels, they were so small, so weak." "Theater," Admiral Bradley's voice answered. "Everything you saw was theater. We showed you what we wanted you to see. Weak, struggling humans barely managing spaceflight. Meanwhile, we built our real fleet in places you never thought to look." Lord Kane watched his mighty fleet being systematically dismantled. 300 of the Dominion's finest warships, reduced to floating hulks in less than 20 minutes. His 4 eyes blazed with humiliation and fury. "The entire galaxy is watching this," he realized aloud. "Yes," Captain Walker confirmed. "They're all learning the same lesson you're learning right now." The real endgame. The dismantling of the Dominion Empire took exactly 72 hours. Admiral Bradley coordinated the operation from the USS Retribution's war room, watching as humanity's fleet swept through Dominion space like a tide. Every military installation, every weapons platform, every defensive satellite was targeted and neutralized with surgical precision. "Status report," Bradley commanded. Commander Beth Taylor pulled up the holographic display. 60% of Dominion military assets eliminated. Their home fleet is attempting to regroup near their capital world. They still don't understand, Bradley mused. "Show them the hammer. Deep in space, a human vessel unlike any other powered up." The USS Prometheus was humanity's ultimate deterrent, a kilometer-long ship built around a single weapon. Captain Michael Roberts stood at its helm, his face grim. "Admiral, the antimatter cascade is ready. Single planet killer or wide dispersal?" "Neither, Captain." "Demonstration mode. Let's show them what we choose not to use." The Prometheus fired into empty space away from any inhabited system. The antimatter bomb detonated in a controlled environment, creating a brief new star that burned for exactly 10 seconds before collapsing. Every sensor in the galaxy detected it. The message was clear. Humanity could destroy worlds, but chose not to. On the Dominion homeworld, panic had replaced arrogance. Lord Kane stood in his throne room, watching reports flood in from across his empire. 3,000 worlds, all reporting the same thing. Human ships had appeared from nowhere, disabled all military assets, and left civilian infrastructure untouched. "How many ships do they have?" he demanded from Chief Scientist Vex. "Conservative estimates suggest 15,000. "But Lord, it's not just the numbers. Their technology. It's like they developed counters to everything we have. Our shields, our weapons, our sensors. They're useless." Ambassador Marcus appeared on the main screen, no longer the tired diplomat from before. "Lord Kane, I'm transmitting from Earth orbit. General Stone has authorized me to offer terms." "Terms?" Kane's voice cracked. "You dare offer terms to the Dominion? You have 1 hour to formally surrender. If you do, the Dominion Empire will be dissolved peacefully. Your species will retain your homeworld and colonies, but your military will be dismantled. You will pay reparations to Haven's survivors, and you will stand trial for war crimes. And if we refuse?" General Stone replaced Marcus on the screen. "Then we demonstrate why humanity survived on a world where everything, predators, weather, disease, even our own nature, tried to kill us. We survive by becoming the most dangerous thing on our planet. Do you really want to see what we become when we stop holding back?" Kane's 4 eyes darted to his advisors. Commander Rex, his scales now permanently shifted to fearful white, shook his massive head. "Lord, they disabled 300 ships in 20 minutes. Our entire fleet. In 3 days. We must never!" Kane roared. "The Dominion has ruled for 1,000 years. We will not bow to mammals who learned spaceflight yesterday." "Then you've made your choice," Stone said coldly. "Captain Walker, proceed with Phase 3. The human fleet around the Dominion homeworld shifted formation. Captain Walker, promoted to Fleet Admiral just hours ago, gave the order humanity had hoped to avoid. All ships, execute Fortress Protocol. Every major military installation on the Dominion homeworld was hit simultaneously. Not destroyed, that would have been merciful. Instead, quantum torpedoes phased through planetary shields and deleted the installations from existence, leaving perfect spherical voids where they had been. In 30 seconds, a military infrastructure built over millennia simply ceased to exist. Lord Kane attempted to flee in his personal escape craft, but found it surrounded by human special forces led by Commander Beth Taylor herself. Her team had somehow teleported directly through his ship's shields, another impossible technology. Teleportation doesn't exist, Vex gasped. It does if you understand how to fold space at the quantum level, Taylor replied, her weapon trained on Kane. Something we learned while you were laughing at our primitive science. Ambassador Marcus addressed the entire galaxy through a quantum broadcast that reached every inhabited world simultaneously. Citizens of the galaxy, this is Earth speaking. We came to the stars seeking peace, friendship, and knowledge. The Dominion Empire answered with fire and death. They burned 15,000 innocent humans at Haven. Families, children, scientists, and teachers. The broadcast showed the human fleet's true size, ships emerging from hidden bases throughout human space. We could have destroyed them completely. Our weapons could have turned every Dominion world to ash. But we are not monsters. We are humans. We protect. We defend. We only destroy when there is no other choice. Lord Kane was brought before a tribunal consisting of representatives from every species the Dominion had oppressed. As evidence of his crimes was presented, not just Haven, but centuries of genocide against other species, the galaxy watched humanity's restraint. They had the power to be conquerors, but chose to be liberators. The real endgame was never conquest, Admiral Bradley told the Assembly. It was justice. And now, a warning to any who would threaten peaceful worlds again. The New Order 6 months after the fall of the Dominion Empire, the galaxy looked very different. Earth's Central Command had been transformed into the Galactic Peace Council headquarters. Representatives from 43 species sat in a circular chamber discussing trade routes and mutual defense treaties. Where the Dominion had ruled through fear, humanity led through example. Admiral James Walker, formerly captain, stood before the memorial on Haven. The colony was being rebuilt, stronger than before, with defensive technologies that would make another massacre impossible. The memorial itself was a towering crystal structure, each facet containing the name of someone lost in the attack. 15,047 names, Lieutenant Anna Cooper said quietly beside him. She'd been promoted to captain, but still served as his aide by choice. We remember them all, Walker nodded, reading the inscription at the memorial's base. Those who mistake human kindness for weakness learn the hardest lesson. We rose not for conquest, but for justice. We armed not for war, but for peace. Here lie those whose sacrifice awakened the Guardian. The galaxy had indeed learned. Earth's fleet now patrolled the shipping lanes, protecting merchant vessels from pirates. Human medical ships responded to disasters on any world, regardless of species. Earth's universities opened their doors to alien students, sharing knowledge freely, except for military technology, which remained carefully guarded. In the former Dominion throne room, now converted into a courtroom, Lord Kane stood for final sentencing. The tribunal had found him guilty on all counts: genocide, war crimes, and crimes against sentience itself. But humanity had abolished the death penalty centuries ago and insisted on life imprisonment instead. "You should kill me," Kane said, his 4 eyes dim with defeat. "It's what the Dominion would do." "That's exactly why we won't," President Maria Santos replied from Earth via hologram. "You'll live, Lord Kane. You'll live and watch as the galaxy flourishes under freedom. You'll see species you oppressed surpass your achievements. You'll witness peace and prosperity you said was impossible without tyranny. Your punishment isn't death. It's education." Commander Rex, who had testified against his former leader in exchange for leniency, now served alongside human forces as a military advisor. His knowledge of Dominion tactics helped Earth establish defensive networks for vulnerable worlds. He stood guard as Cayenne was led to his cell, his scales shifting to a color the humans had learned meant shame. "I don't understand you humans," Rex said to Commander Beth Taylor during a joint patrol. "You had the power to rule everything. Why share it?" Taylor smiled, watching her human and alien crew work together seamlessly. "Because we learned something on Earth that the Dominion never did. Real strength isn't making others kneel. It's helping them stand." The technological revolution that followed was unprecedented. Earth shared their medical advances, their agricultural techniques, and their manufacturing processes. But the military technology, the quantum torpedoes, the dimensional shields, the stealth systems, remained humanity's alone. Not for conquest, but for protection. Chief Scientist Vex, now working with human scientists as part of his rehabilitation, made a startling discovery. "Your weapons," he told General Lisa Stone. "You could have developed these decades ago. Why did you wait?" Stone's answer was simple. "We hoped we'd never need them. We still hope we never need them again." Earth's colonies expanded, but now with full defensive fleets visible to all. No more hiding, no more pretending. Humanity had proven their point. New colonies were established with mixed populations, humans living alongside other species in harmony. Haven itself became a symbol, rebuilt as a multicultural hub where former Dominion species worked alongside humans. Our scanners showed 12,000 human warships on active patrol, reported a Velkari observer to the Galactic Council. "They could conquer us all, yet they protect us instead. Why?" Admiral Bradley, now Supreme Commander of Earth's forces, answered personally. "Because we've been both predator and prey on our world. We know what it's like to be hunted, to be afraid, to lose everything. We also know what it's like to become the monster. We choose neither. We choose to be the shield. A year passed. The galaxy flourished under the new order. Trade increased by 300% without Dominion taxes and restrictions. Scientific advancement accelerated as species shared knowledge freely. Wars between minor species ended quickly when Earth's fleet arrived to mediate. You know what the other species call you now?" Ambassador Marcus asked Admiral Walker during a diplomatic dinner. "What's that?" "The sleeping giants. They say humans pretended to sleep while growing tall enough to touch the stars. And when someone made the mistake of waking you with violence..." Walker finished his wine, looking out at the stars through the viewport. "We showed them that humanity's greatest weapon was never our technology. It was our choice to use it only when necessary." In his final log entry, Admiral Walker wrote, "The galaxy learned that humanity's kindness is not weakness, but choice. Our mercy is not ignorance, but wisdom. We came to the stars with open hands, and when those hands were slapped away, we revealed the fist within. But even in victory, we chose to open our hands again. We are humanity. We are the guardian at the gate, and we ensure that never again will the peaceful fear the night."